That's our goals. Not trying to set them too high. Trying to keep them very reasonable. Trying to keep them very attainable. Let's get into this best of 5. As in the bottom left-hand side, this is going to be the blue Terran player. This will be Team Liquid's Clem. He takes on the red Zerg in the top left corner. It is going to be Rogue. Again, gotta be said, again, if you want spoilers from yesterday, it's kind of too late because we got to talk about the fact that these guys played yesterday. So you're going to get spoiled in this series if you didn't see yesterday. Rogue beat Clem yesterday 3-0. Ridiculous. And honestly, the first game, Clem was in a very good position, and then the Banelings hit. He just didn't split properly. The Banelings got, like, Rogue had Baneling connections, which was like, if those Banelings didn't connect, he dies on the spot pretty much. And then he just about survives, basically, because of some Banelings, and then just is able to take good fight after good fight. And I feel like at that moment, Clem was almost doomed to lose the series from that point, because then from that point on, it felt like Clem never really looked like Clem again during that best of 5. At that point, it felt like he was just constantly on the run. It was constantly Rogue this and Rogue that. Rogue took complete and total control of the game. And yeah, I think, honestly, Rogue got into Clem's head a little bit. Like, I think Clem was very aware he was winning that first game, and his mental just went into the bin. And once he was in that bin, he just could not find the way out again. So, yeah, hopefully coming in today, fresh mindset, fresh head, feeling good. Hopefully he can find it. There's the SCV. Gets across, trying to see what's going on. What's up, Fantasy TY fanboy? Thank you so much for the 50-month resub. 46 straight months of throwing money into Wardy's wallet. I am still not GM. Well, we never claimed to make you GM, you know? That's the thing about StarCraft. It's not pay to win. You can't just pay me and you get to win your games. You do get to pay me and get to watch awesome games, though, so that's paying to win, because then you're winning and getting to watch awesome StarCraft, something like that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we should advertise ourselves as a pay-to-win system. You pay, and you win, because you get to watch awesome StarCraft. Holy, that's what we should... That's it. We're going to make millions. Everyone loves a cheeky little bit of pay-to-win, don't they? My goodness, we figured it out. We've hacked the system. Love it. All right. Real talking, though, we do have ourselves... this game, obviously, setting up Persephone. I want to focus on this because I really feel like this is going to be a fascinating matchup to see the shift from what Clem did yesterday to today, the shift to see what Rogue tries to pull out here, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's see how it all goes as we get ourselves up and rumbling. Just going to be having that replay for the moment, is poking about, trying to find a little bit of info and just figure out what's going on in general. So, yeah, some info gathering for the moment. Nothing too crazy. Bertrand is on the way up, by the way, Banshee and a couple of Hellions. So Clem going to keep himself very safe by going into the Banshee as well. That's always noteworthy, right? You're always going to have that Banshee as like a way to kind of keep yourself in that little bit of a better position, a little bit of a stronger spot if your opponent opens aggressively, which we are very aware that Rogue is capable of doing. Oh, that's not going to be good. Obviously, Clem, he loves to get in and abuse a late link speed, and he gets through the front right now, and that's going to be Hellions into the main. Target fire with that Queen could have had probably 2 Hellions already, but he missed the low HP ones, which is unfortunately quite an expensive cost, because with 2 less Hellions here, the deadliness really drastically drops off. So that could have been way, way, way less effective from Clem, even once he got in, as now we're still at 8 workers killed, and these Hellions finally go down, but 8 drones killed, workers off the line for a significant period, and Clem has done a lot of work here already to establish a very solid starting point in this Game 1 and in this series. He wants to come in and mean business going into this and not kind of leave any doubts on the table after yesterday. That's the kind of way to do it, just showing up early, getting damage done, and that could potentially just simplify this game. Damage like that adds up, and when you're someone as good at macroing as Clem, and as good as kind of keeping the game going while that harassment is going on, it's going to become very difficult because it's not like Clem's making macro mistakes behind that. Banshee gets a few more creep teamer pickoffs, so again, just going to be doing okay for us right there. Nice little start as the missile carapace starts up. The roach speed is coming through as well, so all of that coming online. Banshee's still trying to join up around the left-hand side, trying to see what else may happen. If they just take a couple of moments here to get set up. Like I say, trying to get something rolling. Well, Banshee's both taking some shots, obviously still getting a few more drones though, and again, that just adds up over time. As Clem's bio upgrades are due to finish, I guess Stim finishing soon, 1-1, and Combat Shield's done in about a minute and a half. If we hit with that timing, that could already be very difficult. We lose even more drones here as Rogue, so again, he's just bleeding out in these early stages. It's going to be seeing a hive coming up and get that underway. Medivacs on that right side. We see a lot of the units going to go to that top right. The Roach Ravager going to be coming across as well. So, again, big push coming through. Couple of vials coming down. The Roaches and the Queen's going to step forward. The tank is just going to shoot. The Marines are going to be there. A lot of these Roaches taking damage. The Overseer is sitting overhead. The Roach is trying to close the gap, and that Siege tank will go down. So the tank will fall. Again, 1-1 missile upgrades continue to come through here for the moment. See the Roach Ravaging the right, gathering 2-2 upgrades on the way. The Siege Tank and the Marines coming about as well. Extra barracks all on the way from Clem at the moment here as well. The look then coming about. The couple of drones building through. And those Marines and the tanks still gathering as well. Medivacs will join up together. Both those Banshees going to be seeing a Roach on the right side. Rogue is getting to some of the tech that will help him. Obviously, Viper's coming out will help a lot against some of these pushes and so. What I'm going to be very interested by is if he has a chance to really get to Lurkers. Clem is only dropping right now, not a bigger push on the map just yet. I wonder if Clem looked at Persephone and sort of just says, well, you know what, this is a very difficult map to be kind of aggressive on. As we only lose one Medivac there, but I actually think that could have been a whole lot worse as well, because what could have happened there is if there was a Viper nearby and hadn't abducted, you could have abducted 1 or 2 of those full Medivacs back into the Hydras, and that's a lot more losses than you initially signed up for in that case, so I actually think we're a little bit lucky with that one. I feel like that could have been a whole lot worse for Clem. Obviously, probably a calculated risk though, and for now he's fine. Banshee's again just still alive, and look at this, just knocking down creep teams, and this is the annoyance of playing against Clem. Units from the early game are preserved, they're kept alive, they're used again repeatedly, just again and again in the future. They just do not get held up on at all. It's fantastic stuff. As we do have ourselves the Lurkers, Hydras, and Roaches continue to gather about for the moment as well. One Parasite Bomb actually might get rid of one of these Banshees finally as we cancel a 5th hatchery. This Banshee goes down swinging, man. Honestly, these Banshees have been so great this game, and that one just an exemplification of everything that's happened so far. Like, as it's getting Parasitic Bombed down, it still finds a cancel on the 5th base. The Banshees have been pretty sickening up until now. Lurkers, Hydras, Roaches still gather about. Let's take a couple of moments here. And we'll see. What I do like for Clem as well is that even though he definitely got a lead early and it's still showing. It might not be super obvious, but things such as the creep spread, right? The creep is not super crazy considering the map that this is. A lot of the time this is the kind of map which you do see a lot of creep on. Clem's got it pretty pinned back for Persephone, and that's the sort of thing that, like I say, just comes off the early game. Because he took control early, he did damage and he put Rogue back. He's able to take advantages like that and really run with it. And that's a pretty major benefit for Clem right here. Is he's going to continue threatening the drop. Obviously, he's playing against a fairly immobile force. It's a little bit more risky now than it ever was before because of the Vipers. In this case, he actually doesn't go for the abduct. He goes for the Parasite Bomb. I thought he could have abducted there as... I kind of like this from Rogue. He just knows that that's a weak point, so he's just like, I'm just going to mass spine it, and if you just try and stim in with Marines, it probably won't go too well for you. I like that. It's cheeky. It's cheeky. Marines coming in on the right, left side then. That drop got away, as mentioned. It got Parasite Bomb, but didn't go down. Hatchery gets killed, not cancelled. This time we will... Ooh, well, we will still lose a medevac, and if Clem's not careful, he might swim back in. He very nearly loses a second medevac due to that mistake. Let's just have the Roach Hydra still coming across, and away we go once more. We're going to stim up. A couple of Roaches going down already. The Hydra's and Roaches getting pushed back up that other side. 3-3 upgrades coming about, Cloaking on the way, plus 2 vehicle weapons coming about as well. Again, we get our Burrow coming up. The melee upgrade also still coming through as well. Gonna see how there are a couple of lurkers coming through. Marines Ghosts coming about. A couple of siege tanks going to be there. And as we do have ourselves the lurkers coming about. And get settled in still. Well, I mean, obviously Clem with the bigger push has the snipes available. The Overseer is trying to clog up the skies and make it a little bit complicated to really see what's going on a lot of the time as well. It's actually very frustrating with those Overseers overhead, and obviously they can drop in massive changelings as well, which can just be frustrating to get rid of a lot of the time too. Lurker's going to pop out of this Nidus. That's a ton of SCVs going down. 9, 10, 11, 13 SCVs falling extremely quickly there. It's a sizable amount of damage done, as this Nidus in the natural is huge. What an opening this creates for Clem in this game is all of a sudden he is truly going to be in a little bit of trouble. I mean, that is significant damage done. Rogue is going to be loving his position from there. He's hitting this left side as well. Clem has to bring the entire army back, so all that pressure Rogue has had on the front of his 5th base just dissipates in a moment. Nidus has just died though, so his lurkers might be a little bit stuck. Rogue needs to figure out a new Nidus to escape with. He is going to lose Roaches as well as they get scanned on their attempted getaway too, unfortunately. Not ideal, not ideal. As we do try Nidus to the bottom right, and a Nidus here as well. The Banshee not quite close enough to hit it just yet. The Changeling's going down. Clem busying himself with that as Rogue making a play. As mentioned, definitely a good one, a powerful one. And I gotta say, I like where it's kind of putting him in this setup at the moment. Seven SCVs have dropped. As Clem takes a little bit of additional damage here at the tail end of everything else. The Marines and the Ghosts going to get there. Nidus going down. The Lurkers set up once again, and they're going to start hitting those Ghosts from afar. Or the Ghosts going to hit them from afar. I thought the Lurkers were actually getting some cancels, and there they are. They are getting some snipe cancels. As the acceleration zone's funny, because it will actually help you play Getaway as well. Rogue is just all over this map, and this is where Rogue recently has absolutely been at his absolute best. It's terrifying watching him play, because he's fast, he's dangerous, he is truly all over the map. I love it. I honestly, it's becoming fascinating to see Rogue play again. I love that he's getting to this point of just being able to be so competitive in these kind of games as well. You know, this is not just like a bit of cheesiness and a bit of like, oh, I'm Rogue and I'm crazy. This is like solid, like, I'm going to make this game chaotic. I'm going to play everywhere. I'm going to play quickly. Rogue is becoming a big contender once more. There's a couple of Liberators here, siege up. They are going to cover that Nidus incoming into the main at the moment. A couple of tanks are going to be there. Nidus will be popping, will be denied in that base as well. Nidus will go down too. A couple of tanks helping with that in a big way once more. Clem's going to be back over here, just obviously trying to get back up the right side, but every time he tries to move across, Rogue comes swinging back around. Lurk is getting into position, trying to be an annoyance as well. Just trying to be super frustrating so far. Nidus sets up. We do have the Caduceus reactor coming in as well. We had a command center on the back of all of that as well. Those Marines are going to come in from that right-hand side, going to show up, and that Nidus already going to get knocked down. Lurk is over here, going to blast a whole bunch of Marines as well. That's going to be a nice little grab-a-doodle. Take what we can, of course, like I say. Just going to try and get this hatchery again. Clem has been very consistent about trying to hit these bases. The Banes show up, though, and we actually save this hatchery low HP, so it probably goes down later unless we have some transfusions or so to drop on it. I love that we still have just Nidus coming up on top of tanks, right? So it forces Clem to pull other units back. As Clem's already leaving units behind to try and play defense, Rogue is still testing his multitasking by playing around that defense so well with those aggressive Nidus networks, trying to consistently come into place, trying to consistently, like I say, challenge Clem to have an answer, where I think a lot of the time Clem would really like to be kind of focused on some other things, you know? Because, yeah, you don't want to be pulling back with the rest of your army 9 times out of 10. Which is a lot of what's kind of been going on here, to be honest. That is definitely a frustration. That's definitely a challenge that Clem currently faces as he tries to stay on top of this game and trying to stop this from getting too far out of hand. Ghost Marines is going to finish off this Nidus. That's another denial. Obviously, Clem currently holding on to the 5-base setup. Bottom right should be very manageable to expand to, though. That would give him 6 bases, so it feels like a very achievable expansion setup that we're still kind of in control of, but just not fully there yet. All those Liberators are definitely a question mark as well, mind you. Can we deal with those without them being too impactful, without them just doing too much? They're definitely scary, that's for sure. Definitely going to cause some problems, I imagine, as we just have ourselves continuing to settle down. And I do actually see the Lurkers are going to come across once more, so they're just going to come straight by. And they are going to siege up this mineral line, and once more, issue is going to be ahead, but again, it's Liberators. And we're at a lot of Liberators too, we're at 11. And it's only really Hydras to deal with them. Do we have a Spire at all? Yes, we've got double Spire. We even have a +1 flyer attack upgrade. I really think it's going to be time very shortly for us to actually start making sure that those things are being put to use, right? Because if we're not putting those to use, I'm not going to love this position for a whole lot longer, I can tell you that much. So yeah, I think time to keep an eye on a couple of those things for sure, as mentioned. Just trying to ensure us a nice comfortable continuation as the single muta gets built, so I guess we're just going to use a muta to hit some of the corners that are maybe being used against you right now, some just air units that are a bit difficult to reach. Snipes trying to find Lurkers as they dive back into a Nidus. Again, we've been all over the map here on Persephone with action just continuing more or less just non-stop. It has been hectic, it has been busy. And Rogue, a big part of the reason to blame for that. He really is the player who's started to just pull Clem around the map. My question going into this later stage is obviously Rogue has created a big bang for himself during all of this, so he's definitely benefiting from a lot of this aggression. He's definitely taking some advantages. My question just is, does he actually have a way to eventually fight that Clem army? Because yes, you've got a big bank, but you can throw your army into Clem multiple times, spend that bank and be gone, and still not have broken through a town. We see that all the time. You need to have a way to actually be able to trade with this army, otherwise those engagements will just be throwaways. They will not be successful progression in this game. I think that's going to be the challenge kind of continuing to move through right now. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. As I'm just going to see a couple more Lurkers getting sniped. The Hydra's pushing the bottom right. Clem dropping a lot of supply. As we're going to snipe down these Overseers. It's funny, because Overseers are actually very expensive units, so it doesn't feel like it necessarily all the time, but it's absolutely worth sniping those down. That's good value. If Rogue really wants to keep those Overseers up, like I say, it's an expense. Like, they do not come freely, and if those are snipes you can just take somewhat freely, then you go the hell away and take them, right? Like, that is absolutely A-okay. resources lost right now is 26k to 19k, so about a 7,000 advantage to Clem. Keep that in mind, because that's going to be a great indicator of how the trades are going from here on out. You know, so 7,000 resource difference, about 20 minutes. Let's check in at 25, 30. Because like I say, that's likely going to give us a lot of info as well as to how this game will continue to turn out and how this game will continue to rumble. And there's going to be seeing a bit of a fight here. Liberator's going to try and siege up. The Ghost's going to be having to retreat away, though. So already having to pull back a little bit. The Overseer's coming in overhead once more. So they're going to come straight through. Big fight, obviously getting a base as we go as well. Just those Ghosts still gathering together. The Liberators and the tanks continue through too. Ray Marauder very much so still on the way out. We do have ourselves the Ling Bane producing en masse from Rogue coming back on the back of this. Again, that's the benefit of Rogue having already kind of put himself in this position where he's got the money. The rebuild is very, very achievable. And Clem does not have money in the bank, which means if Rogue can get a couple fights back-to-back that are somewhat just okay for him, Clem will not be able to rebuild from that as well. And then you're going to really kind of test Clem defensively. Does Clem just have a defensive enough position he can hang on into to give him kind of advantage back and to actually truly give him a chance? Or do you just break through because you've got so much money mined already on the map? Obviously, Rogue is mining that 9 o'clock, that 3 o'clock position as well, right? And that's a base that's not shared, right? That's one base that is not there's not one for each player. And so if Rogue mines out of that base, that's a base that Clem will never reach, and that makes up for some of the resources lost as this fight comes through. The Banes chasing the Ghost down. Good split from Clem in the end, but the Lings and the Hydras make their way through the base. I would have liked to see that Lib going down, but he just couldn't justify it. It's about 8,000 resources lost now, so wasn't even that bad of a trade from Rogue. Yes, he took losses. Yes, he traded slightly worse, but in the grand scheme of things, he's absolutely fine with that, I believe. I think there's nothing for him to be worried about in that regard just yet. It's just going to be seeing Ling Hydra coming down here again. The Livs pull off to the side. We do have our Overseers flying overhead again, trying to complicate and crowd up things. Do we have enough to get rid of this little group of bio units? I think so, and this is exactly what I'm talking about now. Clem is going to really struggle. The medevacs both go down as they try to evacuate. Yeah, I just don't think Clem is going to have enough to truly rebuild from here. Like, Rogue just swarms at this stage. Does the defense of Clem look good enough? I'm going to say not at all. He does actually have 9 siege tanks. I guess we will see. Rogue going to back away for the moment, get some more Hydras up, get some more Banes and so going as well, I imagine, is going to be a big part of this too for him over the next few moments. As Clem starts to push up the right side, I mean, I wonder if Clem just feels like he needs to go and try and do something. Rogue still just Ling Bane Hydra-ing it up. Clem does not have a lot of Ghost left over anymore as well, right? He's got 6, so those Ghost numbers are weak. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a couple more Lurgers coming into play. Because Lurgers right now, especially as the Liberator count and Ghost count are both struggling, they're the kind of unit that can 100% benefit from this current situation. So yeah, maybe that would be a nice addition, as it doesn't really matter though. Rogue is just going to swarm, and that is going to be GG's. Rogue is going to take the opening game off of Clem. And Clem, I don't know what's up with him this week, but much for the Prime as we head into game number 2 of this series. In the top right-hand side, has now won 4 maps in a row against his opponent, and it's not very often you can say that. This is Rogue in the upper right of Ultra Love. Bottom left, the blue Terran will be Clem from Team Liquid. Thank you so much as well. Another Prime sub coming through. Oh my goodness. Prime sub from Parabola for the 12 months on the resub. And Scaffler coming in with the 20 gifted subs. Going out of JRaz716, Ding130, Free Nolly, Black Lotus 87, Maples, Helen Goldfish WC, Daedra03, Count Archville, Smip7, Hugo Saden, Muffin4, Mick Phillip POV, C Taylor09, Delthus, KJH, Fantasy3310, Solust99, Mr. Calculon, Works For Me, and Weird Tales. Thank you so much for the 20 gifted subs. Not see that every day. Thank you so much for supporting the StarCraft. Thank you so much for supporting the content. Put some love in the chat for the gifted subs. Okay, we're just gonna go for a good old sub train, are we? A good old proper sub train. Ian gonna drop the 10 gifted subs as well to Dr. Spaceman 7997, Quirkwish, another Mr. Ellis, Hattery, Finald, Blaze Wolf, Rextrim, Leroy Hippo, Latte Matcha, and Quirky Quaz. Thank you for the gifted subs. Clem gonna go multi-Rax Reaper. That's his starting point in this game. For game 2, of this best of 5. Thank you so much, Ian and Scaffler, for the gifted subbies. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the generosity. Starting a hype train, a good old genuine sub train. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support, appreciate the hype. I'm glad you guys are enjoying so much to support. Thank you so much. And another one from Ian to Mystic Shadow 2. Thank you so much as well. Ian's like, you think you dodged it? Dodge this! Boom! Ain't no dodging in Ian's house, okay? At 1,000 subs, Wardy Ladder comes back. If we hit 1,000 subs, I will give you guys a whole 5 ladder games. If that isn't the deal of the century, I don't know what is. People starting to show up, and we'll start to put that pressure on, start to do their thing. We have had some Woody ladder on stream lately, actually. It's been fun. Not a lot, just a couple of games here and there. It's been fun. Been fun being bad. Factory on the way up, triple CC behind this from Clem as he gets settled in these early stages. As Clem loses a Reaper, obviously loses a little bit of map control that you would maybe have liked to have had with that. Still has the map control currently. As link speed finishes up, less likelihood that Clem can kind of trade and stick around. And I feel like it's going to go nibbling up on the rocks already, putting some work in, putting some damage out for a few moments here. Well, Reaper's just going to fight. Ling going to go down. Nice little catch. Nice little kill. Tank, Marines, Medevac, Stim. A little bit of everything just continuing through for the moment. Now going to load up and begin to move out across the other side, so away we go. A couple medevacs to drop from Clem. Again, down the game this series. I feel like this is such an important game for Clem. With the losing streak, he's kind of starting to get built up now against Rogue, just in, in terms of maps played recently. To me, if you don't snap this now as Clem, I really feel like he just loses 0-3 today. I think this game is super important. I feel like he needs to get a bit of a mental victory on the board for himself. I think he needs to get himself a little bit of hype back in his, a little bit of a belief back in his game as well, And that kind of stuff is usually a pretty big deal. Clem is such a momentum-based player as well. Like, when he doesn't believe in himself, you can see it in his games. Means the medevacs will gather. Heading to the upper left. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my my hype train emote that I got. I got a little dog that's getting a medal for being the best. That might be the best hype trainer mode I've ever seen. Oh my god. Incredible. I love it. Amazing. Is the lagging game? Yeah, that's just because I was tapping out to open my hype chest. It's just a little FPS drop from when we tap out, sorry. It's a cat? Oh, I'm less hyped. It could be a dog, no? It doesn't look like... It's not necessarily a cat. It might be a cat. I feel like it's specifically ambiguous, so it can be whatever you want it to be. Let it be a dog, right? I'd rather it be a dog. It's a small dog? I thought it was a small dog or two. Okay, it's a cute animal getting a medal. What's not to love? Huh? What's not to love about that? Thank you again for the support, guys. Clem already trading well here. Double resources lost. Gonna get to that top left base, get a few drones as well. These Lings not trading super well in the main as Clem's continued aggression does great so far. You're gonna get back down to that mineral line as well. This is Clem taking an advantage, and this is the kind of advantage you can do things with as a Terran. So I do like where we're going so far. Definitely feels like some good progress being made for the moment. That's Clem. Is he actually gonna kill this hatchery? Yes, he is. Base is denied. Alright, well, base denied. And otherwise, just going to see ourselves, the Marines continue to stick around, and Overlord going down overhead as well. A great job for the moment. The mines get burrowed, bang, bang, all the Banes getting blasted. Still got the 2-2 coming about, the Widow Mines coming through, extra barracks are on the way as well. Marines and Medevac continue to join. Continue to put some pressure through, and 2-2 upgrades are coming about with the +1 vehicle weapons plating as well, so all of that coming through for the moment. Our barracks on the way, Widow Mines coming up. You look at the production tab, you look at the supplies, Clem's harassment has definitely started to get the job done, putting him into a great position here in this game too, and maybe this is the swing that Clem needs to get back on track against Rogue, to really start pushing himself back into some better places. Queen's gonna get caught too, not ideal. I was gonna say, do we actually have anything on the map that's even nice to fight against these Marines? There's actually quite a few Hydras out, but they're just out of position. I don't have speed yet, so reposition them is kind of tough. Clem's pushing the top left. This is just a drop that was doing a lot of damage here. There's still, again, the proper push on the top left side. That's gonna relocate around and get ready to push further in. Couple Widow Mines going down, the rest of this army collecting. A nice lurker. Lurker's the kind of thing that might keep you alive that little bit longer, right? These Widow Mines just destroying as well as Rogue gets kited into them. A couple of Widow Mines setting up, the Banes are still chasing in, the Bio going to be there, trying to fight back as well. Just getting jumped on. Oh, Lurkers are getting jumped on too. I mean, Lurkers are meant to maybe potentially turn this around a little bit, but I just don't think it's really happening well enough at all. Let's go up once more. Widow Mine is going to get a shot, and that's going to be good enough. Clem is going to take a game number 2, and we're finally going to get him on the board against Rogue for play. in the top right. Took the first game. Couldn't handle the pressure of the second. It's Rogue. Bottom left, our red Terran player is Clem. I'm so glad he got that map win. I felt that was so important for us to get a good series. It's not that Clem can't win from O2 behind. It's just that he's such a momentum-based player that, especially after losing yesterday, I really think if he felt O2 behind here, I think he just tilts game 3 very quickly. Maybe that's an unfair statement, but to me, that's just how it's been going from Clem a little bit lately against Rogue and some other players as well, so... Happened a couple of times against Hero lately. Game 1, Game 2 don't quite go the way he wants it to. Game 3, like, it always feels like it spirals out of control for Clem more than anything else. Like, I feel like Clem almost loses more series where it spirals heavily out of control than he loses, like, tight-knit, really close-packed games. Probably not exactly true either, but... yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's probably a bit of a bias thing, but it definitely happens a lot. SCV coming over as we get settled in for a couple moments, get underway. The shots really gonna go pinging around, so a few more hits coming through for a moment or two. Looking good. We're just gonna shoot, really gonna take some damage. And link speed's still coming about. It's going to have that orbital command coming through as well. So a little bit of everything getting ready here. And our third game. Definitely getting off to a fairly peaceful start so far. So nothing too crazy. Nothing too mad just yet. I like a bit of a peaceful start. Especially after a hell of a game 1. Game 2 definitely again all Clem momentumed. Let's see what this game 3 takes us. It's just so... I feel like that is the difficulty a lot of people have against Clem. It's just like... a lot of people can step up and challenge Clem. It's just getting through that early stage where the Terran army can get so much value out of good micro and good control. And they can kind of offset your position so quickly and so heavily if you lose control of it. I always feel as though that's one of the bigger and tougher moments to get through against Clem at first. Not that Clem's not a terrific later game player, just that, again, it's just so difficult to see it through those early stages where, again, the micro can find so much value, you can get so much out of every single move you're making. And Clem is perfect on the macro behind all of that micro as well. Couple of shots coming around, so I'm just going to get over there for a couple of moments. They're on the way up. The cloaking coming through as we're going to get the Banshees there. Going to try and get underway as well. That Banshee going to go through. Group Team taking a few shots. Queens are going to be there. Banshee still taking some hits. couple barracks is going to be coming through. Again, Cloak on the way up. Just going to have the Stim Pack coming through also. Looking good for the moment. She's just going to go shooting. Queen's going down. More hits coming about for the moment as well. We keep our all on the way for now. We'll see, with all these Hellions gathered up together, opportunity to come through and to put some real pressure on. Hey, drone's going down. That's the sort of stuff you don't really want to have happening from Rogue. Damage taken early. That's where Clem takes control, and that's where the momentum in these early stages can build up from very quickly and very rapidly. So again, not exactly what you want to be seeing. We just had this big talk about how these are the toughest stages of the game against Clem. Hydrogen coming through, the infestation pit coming up. Banshee's gonna get turned around by a few queens for the moment. Wouldn't mind shot gonna go for the Overseer. A couple of Lings going down as well. Still getting ourselves the Ling Bane coming about, continuing through with this. Just gonna be seeing those Medivacs still flying overhead as well. Just escaping away through the bottom side for now. And we just have ourselves the melee upgrades, Groove Spines continue to come up. And again, the Banes and the Hydras all coming into play for the moment. Get rid of a Kurtima, a couple more Lings going down as well. The Overlord's still up on the top side positioning. A little bit more bio. Widow Mines coming around. The Lings getting picked away at the hatchery, going to be going towards this. A couple of Hydras coming through too. Widow Mine shot going to go off. Hits a Queen. Again, like I say, this is where Clem starts to already just take that momentum and just really run with it. And that's where you've got to be so careful as the Zerg player, because again, this is the sort of stage of the game where if Clem just gets this sort of level of control and just runs with it, games end. And games can end very quickly actually from this sort of a position as Queen's trying to get a clean up on the Medivacs. I mean, it might already be a little bit too late. I feel like Clem's already showing up. I mean, he needs some of these Banes to hit. He needs to keep units in good spots. If he can hold on to all 5 bases, he could really do with an extra 10 drones is going to be probably the bigger issue right now. 10 more drones would go a long way to helping out. Just have that little bit of extra income so that as you look at the resources lost here, it's already starting to go a little bit towards Clem's favor. Only by 800 or so, but that's the sort of reason why you want those, income leads. As I wouldn't mind. Hopefully they clean up on the Lings. At least you're going to clean up the mines, so they're not going to get a chance to fire again. That, if nothing else, is a very good positive. SCV's going down, so I mean Rogue is definitely realizing he can't just sit there and kind of take all of this damage either, right? So he's also recognizing the need to kind of step it up a little bit right here and to really deliver a little bit more value in these upcoming moments. Otherwise, I think he's realizing that, like I say, this is going to go very wrong. This is going to be nice. What have my shots gotten the Medivacs? Again, the Marines low. They have to go back into Medivacs that are out of energy. I'm just going to come swinging around the top. Let's see if Rogue can keep on hanging on in there. He's doing a great job of defending across his bases at the moment. look, Den is on the way up as well. A few more extractors coming through. Drones and Banes in production also here. Just currently. Marines continue to trade out. Looking great so far. Marines still finding a few more of those Hydras taking damage. Still just going to be seeing the Hydras taking shots. Hydras going back the other way. Medivacs and Marines have to keep pulling back as well. Lions trying to aim. In the end, Rogue is just not going to be able to hang on in there. He was honestly making a pretty good defense. The problem is the damage was already kind of done initially as well, right? Where Clem was already kind of putting himself ahead, and all of these trades where Rogue's just about hanging on is him, again, very much so hanging on and not kind of bringing it back to where it kind of needs to be at to see success. That's why some of the damage across the map was nice, because that's a step in the right direction. It's just you need to find that damage while also finding a defense as well. That combination of things is, like I say, somewhat tough to kind of get. And here we are with, I think, game number 3 on the line for Rogue, as he's down 40 supply. Rogue would be in trouble. Obviously, you lose this, and you are lose this series. You're out of the competition. Rogue's been so good in the tournaments lately. It'd be a real shame to lose him. Such a competitive Zerg that has just been so very good as of late. Like I say, it would be a real shame to lose out on him, but that's maybe just the price of having great players. I mean, obviously, him and Clem in the losers match is kind of a ridiculous situation. Just goes to show how competitive this group is as Clem moves up to 2-1. It is a best of with the blue Terran player. He's taking the edge in this series. Can he bring it home? This is Clem. Can he bring it home, or will we bounce back to a game 5 with the help of this Zerg? We have ourselves a Rogue in the bottom left of Amygdala. Hey, what's up? Amaze82, thank you so much for the 4-month resub on that Prime. Using the Prime, supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone in the YouTube chat. Hoatai. And everybody else as well. Prodigy Toast, good to see you all. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for being there. YouTube chat's even active today as well. Sometimes the YouTube chat's kind of a little dead and stuff as well. Today, YouTube's just popping a day. Like in every way, shape, and form. YouTube is just popping a day. Who knew? But yeah, Twitch has also been active today. I actually think lately in general, the chats have been active. We've had very few days where the chats have just been like AFK, no one's really saying anything. Because that sometimes happens, but yeah, it's not been happening recently. Rax is going to finish up on the high ground. We will see ourselves the hatch gas and pool coming up. A couple of drones coming in. Pyrex will finish up, and the Reaper comes through as well. So we get that settled just for the moment. Again, Reaper, the Orbital, the CC, all coming about currently. Couple of Queens and the Lings, and obviously this STV just going to come checking over. Just a single Rex from Clem. Obviously, we did see one game in this series today where he played the multi-Rax Reaper opening, so always got to kind of think that that's still a possibility, something you could bring back potentially. Got a meeting in 7 minutes, probably won't see who wins. Gosh dang it. I will, you know what? I'll tell the players to hurry it up. I'll tell them they've got a cheese right. Well, I mean, I guess even if there's a cheese, I guess you know Clem will win, huh? Because otherwise we've got to go for game 5. I don't know if I can speed them up that much. I was going to try and help, but I don't know if it's possible. Maybe you should just, maybe you can just somehow delay the meeting. Introduce them to StarCraft 2, tell them they must watch this game right now, you know? Orbital and the CC going about. The barracks is on the way. We continue to set ourselves up here for the moment. So, again, we get established just for a couple of moments. Hops back up and moves over once again. So again, just a little bit of movement going on. The Reaper gets into the mineral line. Pops a grenade, obviously just trying to scout as well. See, you know, link speeds on the way, for example. Just trying to get further information. Double check where the gas is spent. Things like this just help you to kind of stay secure a lot of the time in these games. Not the craziest of moments. There's the Reaper and the Hellion just going to hit that hatchery. Doing pretty decently for themselves right there at the moment. As the Reaper come back down, a couple Queens will be off to the side. Another couple Creep Team is going down again, so we get set there. The Reaper and the two Hellions going to go poking about. And again, SCVs, Marines coming through. Got settled. Not too much really going on, just got ourselves the Lings opening up some rocks. Obviously the Hellions will peruse around and look for opportunity, but I don't think there's necessarily much opportunity for them to take hold of just at this moment in time either. Let's just sit around. We get the melee upgrade coming through, so that's a choice we can obviously comment on a little bit, although I wouldn't say melee upgrades are overly surprising necessarily. Obviously just playing melee upgrades early before Lair and so on is a choice, though. It's a little bit on the greedy side. I mean, you could argue that there's a world where Rogue ends up in a little bit of trouble when these Marines hit because you don't have quite as much as you might like to have in that situation, so keep an eye on that. And it's just going to finish off those rocks. 1-1, the combat shield continuing through, the Marines still going to come across. A couple Creep Teamers getting nipped and nabbed away. We're going to actually come stimming into this base right now. A couple of Hellbats mixed in as well. Makes this a pretty scary little time, and as Clem is going to show up. Clem is going to take a pretty decent trade for himself at the moment here. Rogue's not just dead, is he? Be a very disappointing way to end this series, wouldn't it? He might be. Yeah, he is just dead. GG's. Clem is going to take it 3-1. Not really quite the epic final game I wanted, I'm not going to lie, but